Welcome to WagerTalk TV, sponsored by uwager.eu. Get a 50% sign-up bonus when using promo code WT50 when signing up. This offer is exclusive to WagerTalk. All right, guys, biggest college football game on the slate this week. Really exciting here. Alabama, 14.5 facing LSU in Death Valley. So I'm crazy. I already played LSU plus 14.5. I probably should have waited. I think we're going to see some Alabama money come in, but I got the plus 470 with LSU. I did a poll.
Is that going to be part of the threesome?
Yes, it is. I did a poll on Twitter and said, should I do this? And everybody but 3 people or 2 people said, no, don't do it, don't do it. And I said, oh, now I have to. Nobody else likes this. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. This LSU defense is the same defense that beat Georgia. Now, granted, I will say this is a very, very dominant Tide team. But, Ralph, I'm going to start with you. I know you have a fun stat.
She was doing well. I think we don't even have to say anything.
Are we needed here?
Yeah,
I know you have a very fun stat to back.
No, well, first I'm going to talk LSU. To
crush my hopes and dreams about LSU.
I'm talking LSU first. And, we've talked in the past how an 8 p.m. start benefits Death Valley greatly. They have over 15% more ATS covers at night at 8 p.m. than in daytime start. So an 8 o'clock start, I give Death Valley as high of a power rating home field edge as I do Penn State for a whiteout. That's a significant edge.
And that's a 6?
That's a 5.5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah, just depending on the weather as well. But yeah, so again, I normally stop at 5, but again, I go up an extra 1.5. And then I look at Bama, and yes, on a video earlier, I said it's silly to play against Bama as well as they're playing offensive and defensively. Well, when you're the number 1 team and you're playing the number 3 team and you're laying 2 touchdowns on the road, that's a different story. I look at LSU's impressive offense on the road. Well, they're 4 games away from home. Louisville, that played neutral. Louisville, 108 defense. Ole Miss, on the road, 113 defense. Arkansas on the road, 79 defense. Tennessee on the road, 56 defense. Oh, yeah, by the way, LSU, number 6. LSU, their last 64 home games, they've lost one of those games by 10 points or more.
So this line we've seen historically be around a touchdown usually when Alabama goes on the road to LSU. This Tide team is very dominant, as we've discussed, for a better part of the season. Is it warranted for an extra touchdown here? Is that truly warranted? 14.5 points here.
Well, this is the highest point spread for a top 4 team at home to be an underdog from. So I think it's an absurd amount of points if you just look at it in its, just looking at the game by itself. But, this is a freight train. Who the hell wants to get in front of Alabama? You talk to anybody, and they give up. They have the spread pretty much in hand by the half every week. So who's going to get in front of this team? But what people don't point out is they've only played teams with 2 winning records. They've only played teams in the top 2 teams in the top 50, while LSU has played 5 teams in the top 30. Really cool stat my friend Ron came up with. LSU off of a win, off of a bye, facing revenge, home dog. There's 341 examples of this, and it's a 65% trend. I really like that. LSU has the kicking edge. This game is usually aligned properly. Kicking game could come into play on this. Alabama's quarterback hasn't even thrown an interception yet. He's due. I hate the he's due theory, but like Ralph
when your
said,
top defense you faced away from home is 56, it leaves some opportunity there.
Exactly.
Especially if they don't jump out to that early lead.
So he's going to face some difficulty here, and it's going to be for the first time this season. I had one more stat that was pretty interesting. Alabama trend. This is interesting. LSU is definitely the rush pick in this matchup. And if you go back to the last 115 Alabama games, the rush pick is 73-42 against the spread, 63%.
Meaning the team that had the most yards rushing.
No, there's a statistical way of evaluating a game ahead of time and who dominates the ground and versus whatever the spread is at the time. So you assign a certain amount of points per yardage difference.
So it's a rushing system you came up with or you use. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph, question for you. Tua is not 100% healthy, is what we've been hearing. Jalen Hurts is probably not going to be available. So there's a couple of third-string kids. One has a hilarious name, and I can't remember it, but we were making fun of him the other day about it. Sounds like a total Alabama quarterback name. If Tua goes out in this game, I mean, this kid has been so good. As you mentioned, no interceptions this year. They can't go to Jalen Hurts. They go to an 18, 19-year-old kid that has, now has to face LSU in Death Valley. How many points does that really shift here? Just a hypothetical.
I think they do go to Jalen Hurts.
You do, even a banged-up Jalen Hurts.
Well, I think if Jalen Hurts is 80%, even though you're going to blow his red shirt with with whatever he played, how many games he played, I think in this situation you want the experienced guy in, even at 80%, instead of sending out someone who's making his first appearance in Death Valley at night. So to me, a banged-up Hurts or Tua stays in the game versus a backup. Now, if both are out, then all of a sudden this line's probably Bama 3, Bama pick, instead of 14 without those quarterbacks being there. I mean, Tua's probably worth 10 points plus, especially on the road. But, one final stat on the flip side, I'm a T&A guy. So,
yeah.
There we go.
What are you guys laughing about? That's trends and angles. Well, I don't know what you guys meant. But, so anyway, backing up the flip side here, road teams, we always talk in college football, road teams back-to-back games. And all of that, we think it's a negative. Well, how's this for a step? Road teams that are playing back-to-back away games that are off 3+ wins. So obviously it's later in the year, you've won 3 games, you have nice momentum. Playing that blindly, and that's on the Alabama side this week, 63, 31, and 5. That's 60% since 2010. So again, I'm not saying playing him in this situation, but just to teach our viewers that don't have that connotation that back-to-back road games are automatically a negative. If you have positive momentum in that situation, it's just blindly since 2010, it's been over a 60% angle. So just something to add to your handicapping repertoire.
All right, make sure you give both of these guys a follow at Las Vegas Chris and at Cal Sports LV. Again, this video is sponsored by WagerTalk. Get a 50% sign-up bonus when using promo code WT50 when signing up. This offer is exclusive to WagerTalk.